Greetings to all. Welcome to Future Officers Academy. Today we are going to see the daily current affairs of 31st May. So today we are going to discuss the topics of 112 dead as landslides flattened Wayanad villages, which comes under GS 3 paper, under Geography and Disaster Management. Next, Kerala ignored recommendations to prevent such disaster, so which comes under same GS 3 as well as GS 1. Next, India's open ecosystems facing an unusual threat, encroaching trees, which comes under GS3 environment. Next, United States overtakes UAE as India's second largest LNG supply, which we have to know about under prelims fact. Next, Niger Benin export pipeline and Niger. So in this we have to know about the location. Next, editorialization, and finally the mapping. So our first topic is about 122 dead of landslides flattened Wayanad villages. First we have to know about the news. A devastating series of landslides in Vitturikki Taluk, Wayanad district, Kerala, killed at least 122 people and injured 197, with the death toll expected to rise. The landslides, originating from a waterlogged hillock, obliterated three villages and altered the course of Iruvanipura River. The Kerala government declared a state of mourning and launched an intense rescue effort with state and central force while bracing for more heavy rain. Now we have to know about Wayanad. Wayanad is the only plateau in Kerala forming a continuation of Mysore Plateau, part of the Deccan Plateau. The Kabini River, a tributary of Kaveri River, originates in Wayanad. The Chalia River, the fourth longest river in Kerala, also originates on Wayanad Plateau. Wayanad is the home of Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. Now, what are the possible reasons behind the Wayanad landslide? The first one is heavy rainfall. Heavy rainfall caused this landslide. Next, the hilly terrain with sharp slopes. Hilly terrain with sharp slopes. Next, loss of green cover. Fourth, climate change. Fifth, environmental. Neglect and mining. So these are all the possible reasons behind the Wayanad landslide. Now, what are the ways to reduce instance of this landslide? The ways are afforestation, proper drainage system, slope reinforcement, soil conservation practices, early warning systems, and public awareness. Next, the reforestation. So these are all the ways to reduce the instance landslides. Now, what are the key policy initiatives that National Landslide Sustainability Map says? So the National Remote Sensing Center under ISRO released Landslide Atlas of India 2023. The detailed guide identifies landslide hotspots across the country with 100 square meter resolution overview of landslides suspectively. The map highlights the traditional high-risk areas and uncovers new regions of concern, broadening the scope of landslide monitoring. Scientists conducted a risk assessment based on 80,000 landslides recorded between 1998 to 2022 across 147 districts in 17 states and 2 union territories, creating landslide atlas of the country. Now, what are the top states by landslide events? The top states are first Mizoram. It has more than 12,000 events in the past 25 years. Next, Uttarakhand. It has more than 11,000 events. Then other states like Kerala, Jammu Kashmir and Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Tripura. Now the districts with maximum landslide exposure to is first Arunachal Pradesh which has 16 districts. Next Kerala has 14 districts each. Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir also has 13. Next Himachal, Assam and Maharashtra has 11 districts. Mizoram has 8 districts. Nagaland has 7 districts. The highest landslide density and risk exposure says so. The Rudraprayag and Tehri Garhwal districts in Uttarakhand. With this, we have the UPSC mains previous year question paper which have been asked in the year 2021. Describe the various causes and the effects of landslides. Mention the important components of the national landslide risk management strategy. You can practice on this question. Our next topic is about Kerala ignored recommendations to prevent such disasters. So, ecologist Madhav Gadgil criticized the Kerala government for failing to implement the Western Ghats Ecology Expert Panel's recommendation contributing to the Wayanad disaster. He attributed the catastrophe to unregulate development in highly sensitive areas and highlighted the exacerbating impact of defund quarries and climate change. Now, what does Mr. Gadgil says here? It just says that first the man-made tragedy. Ecologist Madhav Gadgil, former chairman of Western Ghats Ecology Expert Panel, labeled the Wayanad disaster as the man-made tragedy, attributing it to the Kerala government neglect of crucial ecological recommendations. Now, does the panel recommend? Gadgil criticized the state government for failing to implement the panel guidelines which classified the affected region as highly sensitive and recommended restriction development in these areas. So next, the development concerns. He pointed out the highly sensitive zones when marked for preservation had been extensively developed for tea plantation, resorts and artificial lakes. Contrary to the panel recommendation, the impact of quarries is Gadgil notified that different quarries near the disaster site could have exacerbated the situation, with shockwaves from their operation potential contributing landslides during heavy rain. He accused the Kerala government for rejecting the panel report, which he believes to led to recruiting disasters in Wayanad and other regions. Gadgil stressed that without serious implementation of panel's recommendation and proactive measures, such disasters would continue, intensified by climate change, efforts like extreme rainfall and droughts. So the Madhav Gadgil Committee report 2011, what it says. So the Madhav Gadgil Committee report 2011 focused on ecological sensitive on the Western Ghats, a biodiversity hotspot in India. The report classified the Western Ghats into 3 zones. So the zones are ecological sensitive zone. E is that ecological sensitive zone 1. Next, ecological sensitive zone 2, ecological sensitive zone 3. So in 1, it says that it includes areas with high biodiversity requiring strict conservation measures. In ecological sensitive zone 2, it says areas with moderate sensitivity needing some conservation practice and regulated development. In 3, it says about regions with lower ecological sensitive where development can be permitted with caution. The recommendations are the strict conservation of ESZ1 areas should have stringent environmental regulation and minimal development. Now, the regulated development is in ecological sensitive zone 2 areas should balance conservation with regulated development activities. In sustainable practice, encouraging sustainable agriculture and forestry practice across all zones. Implementation, the report faced resistance from various stakeholders due to its strict recommendation impact local development and livelihood. So with this we have the UPSC mains question which have been asked in GS1 previous year 2021. Differentiate the class of landslides in the Himalayan region and the Western Ghats. So you can practice on this question. Our next topic is about India's open ecosystem facing an unusual threat to encroaching trees. Though the increased tree cover in historical open ecosystems like savannas and grasslands, known as woody encroachment, it is harming biodiversity. The shift leads to declines in native species such as grassland birds due to loss of habitat diversity, and distribution of natural disturbance regimes. More research and policy changes are needed for effective conservation. A study published on June 5 in Global Change Biology by scientists from the universities and Witwatersrand, Cape Town, and Oxford reveals that increased tree cover in open ecosystems such as savannas and grassland has led to significant decline in native grassland birds. In the African savanna, the population of grassland birds has decreased by over 20%. Now, what is the major to grassland includes here? The major to grasslands are conversion of agricultural lands, intensive agriculture practices, erosion and large-scale development projects, overgrazing, increasing tree cover, which termed woody encroachment. Now we have to know about what is woody encroachment. The woody encroachment is the conservation of open habitats into areas with increased tree and shrub density. This process results in homogenization of ecosystems, changing them from diverse environments with grassy understories, the sparse trees to ones dominated by woody plants. Natural disturbance regimes like grazing and fire, which traditionally maintain open ecosystem, are disturbed, allowing trees to proliferate. Now, what is the reverse of this woody encroachment? It is increased atmospheric carbon dioxide promotes tree growth over grasses due to the C3 photosynthetic pathway used by trees. Trees further suppress grasses through shading and fire suppression. Different regions experience various drivers of encroachment, fire suppression, and habitat fragmentation in South America. Carbon dioxide levels and rainfall variations in Australia and Africa. Now, what are the impacts on grassland in India? Indian grasslands span various climatic regions, including arid areas, floodplains, and high altitude zones, and are home for species like Indian one-horned rhinoceros and Bengal florican. These grasslands are highly threatened and fragmented, exacerbating their vulnerability. A February 2023 study using remote sensing data reported a 34 reduction in grassland habitats within national parks in India and Nepal, along with an 8.7% increase in tree cover. Now, what is the historical and ongoing threat? Colonial conservation policies deemed open ecosystems as wastelands, leading to their conservation to plantations and criminalization traditional practice like grazing and fire management. Modern perceptions of trees as carbon sinks contribute to the marginalization of open ecosystem. Woody encroachment has significantly altered biodiversity, leading to declines in species dependent on open habitats. So, further evidence and long term ecological monitoring are essential to understand the impact of woody encroachment on biodiversity. Detailed research will provide insights to inform effective conservation strategies and policy changes. Dismantling colonial era terminologies and misclassifications that promote the conversion of open ecosystem is crucial for effective conservation strategies and policy changes. Dismantling colonial era terminologies. So, conclusion is while tree planting and carbon sequestration are valuable, balancing these efforts with the conservation of grasslands and savannas is necessary to protect the unique species dependent on the habitats. With this, we have UPSC prelims question which have been asked in the year 2021. The vegetation of savanna consists of grassland with scattered small trees but extensive areas have no trees. The forest development in such areas generally kept in check by one or more or combination of some conditions. Which of the following such condition is the gate, burying animal and termites, fire, grazing herbivores, seasonal rainfall, soil properties? Select the correct answer using the codes given below. So here the answer is C, that is 2, 3 and 4. Fire, grazing herbivores and seasonal rainfall. Our next topic is about United States overtakes UAE as India's second largest LNG supplier. In 2023, the US overtook the UAE to become India's second largest LNG supplier, driven by low international LNG price and proximity advantages. The US became the top global LNG exporter, while Qatar continued as India's largest supplier and African LNG imports to India declined significantly. In 2023, the US became India's second largest LNG supplier, surpassing the UAE with 3.09 million tons of LNG. The increase is attributed to weakening international LNG prices and India's proximity to US LNG via the Cape of Good Hope, reducing the freight cost. The US also became the world's largest LNG exporter in 2023. Qatar remained the largest supplier of India, increasing shipments to 10.92 meter in 2023. African nations, notably Nigeria and Angola, saw a significant decrease in their share of LNG exports to India from 2.7 MT and 2.9 MT in 2019 to 0.73 and each in 2023. So now we have the practice question here. Consider the following statements. Liquefied natural gas is liquefied under extremely cold temperatures and high pressure to facilitate storage or transportation in specially designed vessels. First LNG terminal in India was built in Hassan. Natural gas liquids are separated from LPG and these include ethane, propane, butane and natural gasoline. Here the answer is B. The first and third statement is correct. Now we'll move on to the next topic, that is Niger Benin export pipeline and Niger. So the China-backed Niger Benin export pipeline that would make Niger an oil exporting country is being threatened by an internal security crisis and a diplomatic dispute with neighboring Benin. These issues arose after last year's coup that toppled Niger democratic government. Now we have to know about Niger. Niger, located in the West Africa, as a landlocked country known for its vast desert landscapes and significant cultural heritage. The northern region of Niger is dominated by Sahara Desert, comprising more than half of the country. The central part of Niger is characterized by the Sahel, a semi-arid transition zone between Sahara. The Air Mountains locked in the northern central part are significant mountain range with highest peak. Mount Idok en Tux, the Niger River is the country's primary water source. Lake Chad is a significant body of water shared with Nigeria, Chad and Cameroon. Its size keeps on fluctuating. Now we have to know about Niger-Benin export pipeline. The 1,930-kilometer pipeline runs from Niger's Chinese-built to Agadem oil field to the port of Cotonou in Benin. It was designed to help Niger achieve an almost 5x increase in oil production through $400 million deal with China's state-run National Petroleum Company. The pipeline faces significant challenges, including a recent diplomatic disagreement with Benin. These issues threaten a strained Niger economy heavily reliant on external support, now withheld after the coup. Next, the UPSC prelims question which have been asked in 2018. Which of the following have shrunk immensely, dried up in recent past due to human activities? Aral Sea, Black Sea, Lake Baikal. Select the correct answer using the code given below. So the answer is A, only Aral Sea. Next, we'll see the editorial analysis. Our editorial analysis topic is a license charge for digital content creators. So, the union government seeks to control digital content creators through the Broadcasting Regulating Bill 2024. The bill extends governmental power over digital media, aiming to regulate and censor political commentary and news, thereby curbing the influence of online platforms critical of the government. The growing influence of digital media and voter preference is evident from two CSDS Lokniti surveys, which analyzed 642 million voters and 924 million broadband connections. These surveys revealed that 29% of respondents consume political content daily on digital platforms, surpassing newspapers and radio. Now, what are the key provisions of the Broadcasting Regulation Bill 2024? The first is classification of digital and OTT broadcasters. Next is additional compliance requirements. Next, decision making, and censorship enforcement. Next, what are the issues associated with this broadcasting regulation bill in 2024? The issues are increased government control, bureaucratic and politicized system, vagueness and arbitrary enforcement. Now, the way forward is recognition of constitutional limits, transparent and inclusive consultation process, clear and precise provisions, independent oversight mechanism, safeguarding digital rights, balance between regulation and freedom, proactive engagement with digital platforms, public awareness education. So these are all the way forwards. Now, why is the new broadcasting services regulating bill 2024 needed? It is needed for technical advantages, for cohesive approach, the path ahead also. Now the broadcasting regulations in India seen in first the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, that is TRAI. Next, Electronic Media and Monitoring Center, Electronic Media and Monitoring Center. Next, Prasar Bharati. After that, Cable Network Act 1995. So these are the broadcasting regulations in India. So we have the UPSC prelims question which have been asked in the year 2019. In India, which of the following review independent regulators in sectors like telecommunication, insurance, electricity, etc.? Ad hoc committee set up by the Parliament, Parliamentary Department Related Standing Committee, Finance Commission, Financial Sector Legislative Reforms Commission, Niti Aayog. Select the correct answer using the given code. The answer is A. The first two statements are correct. Our next topic is mapping. We'll continue with this last current affairs video. We have many important international borders. So today we are going to see the borders like first Durand line, which is between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Next, Hindenburg line, which is between Poland and Germany. Next, MC Mohan line, McMogan line, that is China and India. Next we have Maginot line, which is between Germany and France. Next, Mannerheim line, which is between Russia and Finland. Next, Older Nazi line, which is between Poland and Germany. The next is Radcliffe line, which is between India and Pakistan. Next, Siegfried line between France and Germany. Next, Blue line between Lebanon and Israel. Green line or Attila line or UN buffer, which is between the Republic of Cyprus and Turkish Cyprus. So that's all from today. So to read this document, you can visit our website. Our website link have been provided in the description. To get more daily current affairs videos, follow our YouTube channel, also our Telegram channel. Thank you.